Evening, ladies. I'm so excited to see everyone here tonight. And to the fellas joining us, we appreciate you being in the room as well. This space is all about connection, growth, and learning how we can build wealth together. Before we jump in, let's warm the room up a little bit. Quick check in, ladies. What's one financial goal you're working toward right now? It could be paying off debt, buying a home, investing, traveling a little more, creating generational wealth. Drop it in the chat. Let's just see. Don't be shy. Let's see. Oh yeah. Paying off debt, freedom, of course. Paying off your mortgage, new wardrobe. Love it. Love it. Buying a new vehicle. Awesome. Before we dive into tonight's conversation about building wealth, I just want to take a quick moment to introduce myself so you know who you're learning from and why this topic is so important to me. I actually grew up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and like many people, I didn't grow up learning a lot about money or building wealth. That's part of what fuels my passion today, helping others learn the things many of us weren't taught early on. I've spent over 15 years working in marketing and business operations. So I've always been around strategy, growth, and helping businesses scale. That background really helped me understand how systems work and how money moves. I also earned my bachelor's degree in business with a focus on management and entrepreneurship, which gave me the foundation to understand not just working for income, but also how to build something of your own. Today, I'm licensed in life, accident, and health insurance across multiple states, which allows me to help individuals and families with different financial protection strategies. My specialty is really helping people with retirement planning, life insurance strategies, and long term care planning, because these are some of the biggest financial areas that impact families long term. And one thing I always say is this: a woman with financial literacy is a woman with freedom, security, and power over her future. That's really what tonight is all about: giving women more knowledge so we can make stronger financial moves. Before we dive in, I want to give you a quick overview of what we're going to cover tonight, because this isn't just information, this is about empowerment. We'll start by looking at real numbers, what's actually happening financially for women today, not to overwhelm you, but to bring awareness, because awareness is where change begins. Then we'll walk through who we are and how we help, not just products, but real solutions designed to meet you where you are financially. From there, we'll talk about your options, because most people were never taught how money can actually work for them. This is where things really start to click. We'll also cover retirement, what that really looks like today, and how to prepare in a way that gives you freedom, not stress. We'll touch on risk, because protecting what you're building is just as important as growing it. And lastly, we'll talk about women in finance, why representation matters, and how you can take control in spaces where we haven't always been included. So by the end of tonight, our goal is simple. You'll walk away more informed, more confident, and more in control of your financial future. Now, here's the bright side of the conversation. And this is something I love sharing with women. Research actually shows that women tend to be better investors than men. According to studies, women's investment portfolios outperform men's by 40 basis points. And it's not because women are taking bigger risks, it's actually the opposite. Women tend to be more disciplined, more patient, and more focused on long term goals, which are all key ingredients to successful investing. So even if you've ever felt like investing or finances were complicated or intimidating, the truth is many of the natural traits women already have actually make us strong investors. This is why financial education is so important because when women understand how money works, we often make powerful financial decisions. So the real question becomes, if women have the ability to be strong investors, why aren't women taking advantage of these opportunities? Let's talk about it. Another really exciting trend we're seeing right now is that women owned businesses are absolutely thriving. Today, women own about 42% of all businesses in the United States, which is a huge shift from where things were just a couple of decades ago. And those businesses are generating around 1.9 trillion in revenue, which shows just how powerful women are in today's economy. What's even more impressive is that women-owned businesses are growing twice the rate of men-owned businesses. So what this tells us is what this is more and more women are stepping into entrepreneurship, leadership, and financial independence. And that's really what tonight is all about, helping more women understand the tools, knowledge, and opportunities available to build wealth and create options for their future. So, whether it's through investing, entrepreneurship, or financial planning, women are stepping into bigger financial roles than ever before. Now, this statistic is one of the most powerful shifts happening in our economy right now. By the year 2030, women in the United States are expected to control over 30 trillion in financial assets. Let me say that again, over 30 trillion in financial assets. This is one of the largest wealth transfers and financial shifts in history. And it means women will have more influence than ever before in investment decisions, retirement planning, and how money moves in the economy. But with that opportunity also comes responsibility because controlling wealth and understanding how wealth works are two different things. That's why financial education and conversations like this are so important. The goal isn't just to have access to money, it's to know how to grow it, protect it, and use it to create long term security. Now, transitioning to our next speaker, April Archuleta, she's going to cover the not so bright side.
Okay, can everybody see my screen? I'm hoping it transferred great. So thank you guys for allowing me to come on and speak with you guys today. My name is April Sayeda, and I'm one of the senior partners here with the broker group. And so to give you a little background on my journey, I grew up here in Salt Lake City. Professionally, I spent over 20 years in the mortgage industry helping people navigate the complexities of homeownership. While I love that work, I do love it. 12 years ago, I made a pivot into a little bit more of a broader financial space, and it has really been one of the most rewarding decisions of my life. Why I got into this business is I really discovered a level of joy and fulfillment that I hadn't really been able to find anywhere else. I don't just see myself as a partner here in the firm. I see myself as a partner in your future. And because of that, I believe that financial security shouldn't be a mystery, which we are finding a lot of the time. It is a mystery. And I think the biggest thing is it should be a reality for every single person on this call, right? So now I get to talk about the why behind our mission today, why I absolutely love what we do. We've seen the power that women have as investors, but we also have to face the systematic hurdles that make our journey a little different. And so currently, women are earning approximately 82 cents for every dollar a man earns, right? While that might sound like a really small number, over a weekly paycheck, like if we take a look at the big picture, over a 40-year career, that creates a staggering lifetime income gap of $400,000. Yeah, that's $400,000. That's a pretty good size chunk. But I think the real kicker is not only are we earning less, but we are saving less. But we are also living longer, right? So on average, women are outliving men by 6 years, right? So this means that we're facing a perfect storm. We have a smaller bucket of money to cover a longer period of life, especially when it's coming to rising healthcare and long-term care costs. So when I'm talking about these facts, guys, it isn't to discourage you. I don't want you to be discouraged by these numbers. It's really about being informed, like Monique said. Information is power because once you know the math of the gap that you're facing, you can choose the strategies, right? Like the ones that we're going to be discussing today, and we're going to close that gap for good. Now, understanding that income gap, we have to look at how that compounds into retirement. The reality is that women have 30% less saved for retirement than men, right? But here's the irony with that. Even though we have less in the bank, we actually need more funds. Why? Why do we need more money? Because biology and statistics tell us that women live on average 6 years longer, right? That is an additional 6 years of housing expenses, 6 more years of groceries, and most importantly, 6 more years of rising health costs. So, why is that gap so large, right? It often comes down to our nature. Now, as women, we are the world's natural caretakers. We are the first to hit pause on our careers, to raise children, to care for aging parents, whatever it might be. We are notorious for making sure everyone else's needs are taken care of. And even though our plate might be full, we wait to sit down to eat. But when it comes to your finances, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you do not take care of future you first, you're not going to have the resources to take care of the people that you love later, right? So proper planning isn't just about numbers. It really is about making sure that your caretaking nature doesn't leave you vulnerable. It's time to put on your own oxygen mask first. I know we hear this on the planes all the time, but this is a real life oxygen mask that I want you to think about and put that on first. And so the next statistics that I really want to cover is perhaps the most important one, I think, and something that I think we're going to discuss a little bit more today is 80% of the women in the world right now will eventually be the sole responsible source for their financial well-being. So whether it is through divorce, widowhood, or maybe just the decision to remain single, 8 out of 10 of us will be the financial decision maker for every dollar that comes in and goes out. But the reality that we have to face is that for so many of us, there really isn't a plan B. And so there isn't necessarily someone else in the background putting money away to take care of us in our later years. So if we do not prioritize our own savings and protection today, we are basically leaving our future selves vulnerable. And so I think we often think of financial planning as a chore, right? Oh, I don't want to talk about my bills. I don't want to look at what that looks like. But I want you to start looking at it as the ultimate form of self-care, right? We talk about self-care. It's such a big thing now. Take care of you, take care of you. This should be at the forefront of your self-care routine. It's about making sure that no matter what life throws at you, you have the resources to take care of yourself with dignity. And more importantly, and I know this is important to a lot of us, independence, right? It's important. You are your own best advocate. So I want you to start acting like it. Now, finally, we have to look at the safety net, or I would say the lack thereof. So currently 43% of women have no type of life insurance whatsoever. And so that leaves millions of families just one tragedy away from a financial collapse. Now, for decades, the industry has focused on insuring men as the primary breadwinners, but the world has shifted, right? In a growing number of households, women are the primary earners, or at the very least, provide a dual income that the family cannot survive without. But even in cases where a woman isn't the earner, we cannot overlook the economic value that she provides, right? If a stay-at-home mom is no longer there, the cost to replace her labor, childcare, household management, transportation is staggering. Why we wear multiple hats and we are accomplishing multiple jobs. So whether you're working a full-time job or you are a stay-at-home mom, it doesn't matter. Your absence shouldn't mean the end of your family's financial security. And so I think it's time that we look at valuing that contribution that we bring enough to protect it. So we often talk about the wage gap, but we also have to address the caretaker penalty, right? So statistics are showing that more than 60% of women will take a significant career break at some point to care for children or to care for aging parents. Now, while these are acts of love, they do come with a heavy price tag, right? These breaks don't just reduce your current paycheck, they lead to significantly lower Social Security benefits, potentially smaller retirement nests later in life. We are essentially penalized, right, for being the compassionate ones. Now, this is compounded by the fact that 65% of women explicitly state that they put their family's immediate financial needs ahead of their own financial security. Now, we make sure the kids have the best opportunities and the household is running smooth, often really at the expense of our own retirement accounts. And I know that this is something that hit me personally is I put things aside to make sure that the household ran great. But I want to challenge that mindset today, right? Prioritizing your own financial security, it's not selfish. It is strategic. And if you do not secure your own future, you are essentially planning to become a financial burden on the very family that you're trying to protect, right? So let's change that narrative. Taking care of you is the ultimate way to take care of them. We'll let that sink in for a second. Now, we've spent the last few minutes looking at the numbers, the gaps in income, the savings shortfalls, the reality of longevity. Now, it can feel overwhelming, but I think that these statistics are exactly why we do what we do. We don't just identify the problem, we're providing the bridge to the solution. Now, because your future is too important to leave to chance, we have meticulously selected a portfolio of partners that represent that gold standard of financial stability. Now, we work with top A-rated companies such as American National, Global Atlantic, Foresters Nationwide, just to kind of name a few. But the reason that we really emphasize these options is simple. Strength in selection means that you are not forced to fit into a one-size-fits-all type of plan. Whether we're looking at wealth accumulation, long-term care, tax advantage growth, legacy protection, whatever it might be, we are using the highest quality tools available in the industry to shape that future that belongs to you. Now, we're here to turn those statistics into a story of success, right? That's why we're here. And so to wrap up our evening and show you exactly how these strategies come to life, I am thrilled to introduce our final speaker. And I urge you guys to stay on till the very end because Andy's going to be bringing the fire. She is a powerhouse leader in this business who has dedicated her career to helping women take their seat at the financial table. So please join me in welcoming Angie Fragomeno.
Awesome. Thank you so much, April. Can you guys hear me? See my screen? Just double checking technology. Awesome. Fantastic. And I'm just so honored to be here with you guys tonight. I first want to commend every single one of you to take the step and to take the initiative to be part of an environment like this or an event like this, where you're finding more information about what can make your future better. What are also some of the things that are affecting us, just like April just touched on. But also, this is a moment of connection. It's a moment of celebration of all the things that we have been accomplishing as women. And so in honor of Women's History Month, this is one of my favorite events of the whole year that we have, where we get to not only, again, connect, but educate and provide tools and information that could really make a difference in your own portfolio and your own finances. So just a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for now close to 13 years, and it's been an amazing ride. I never thought financial services, it was going to be my industry, but I always knew that I wanted to be connected to impact and making a difference, that if I was just going to do something for 30 or 40 years of my life, that it was going to make a significant impact in the world. And I know that in the last 13 years, we've been doing that, not only partnering up with amazing women like the ones that you heard from today, but also so many other amazing individuals in our organization that we get to work with to help more families, to make a difference. And again, to bring financial education to the average, everyday, hardworking American that needs this information. And I know that is important because that's what it was for me. When I got started, I realized that I was getting a master's degree and I had no idea how my 401k worked. And I always joke around this because it was my reality and it was something that happened to me. I was getting my master's, and also when someone was talking to me about my 401k, I was like, I don't even know where it's allocated or the actual investments within it. And so that's what got me more passionate about this. I also started asking questions, my coworkers, my friends, family. There's a lot of strong women in my family too, and so nobody really had any answers. So it was almost like a duty that I needed to make sure that we needed to spread this information, and that's what I've been doing the last 13 years. So let's talk about some tangibles. And I want you to be open to some of these ideas, but definitely take some of this information for you. At the end, stay until the end. We are going to give you a little gift that we prepared, and definitely is going to make a difference in your own portfolio. So let's talk about some of the shifts in personal responsibility and why this topic is so important right now. Maybe some of you are closer to retirement than some of you. You know, some individuals in this call might have still 20, 30 years to retirement. Maybe you're thinking, I'm already in retirement or semi-retired, but the conversation about retirement is so relevant to all of us, again, because some of the statistics that we just heard. But this is what used to be the three-legged stool, and what the three incomes in retirement used to be. So unfortunately, today's reality, we have to address this because we have to plan accordingly. And so one of these realities, and as you see on the stool, it's what we call the three-legged stool, it's broken, and two of those legs, two of those incomes are not longer part of that stool. So that one leg in that stool has to be really strong, and that's going to be personal savings. So Social Security, if you haven't heard yet, but I'm sure you have, studies show that it's going to be depleted in the next 10 to 12 years, probably sooner. We don't know. So there's got to be some changes around Social Security for us, or at least, my generation, to be able to actually get access to Social Security. Pensions are almost extinct. Only 10% of Americans have access to a pension. So if you work for the city, the government, teacher, lawyers, not lawyers, firefighters, police officers, those are going to be individuals that have access to pensions. And so it comes down to that personal responsibility and savings. How much of our own money is put away for those later years? And that's the reality. And so what we need to know and understand is risk. Because the secret to retirement, and I love this here, knowing how to outmaneuver risk and taxes before they outmaneuver you. So you have to understand risk, and understanding risk, there's two sides to it. Not only volatility and taxes, but also tolerance, risk tolerance, and risk capacity. One of them, tolerance, comes from psychology and behavior. What happens if the market drops tomorrow, or like it happened today? How is your portfolio protected, and can you stay the course in a downturn? Risk capacity, on the other hand, is what you can afford to lose. That's more math and financial reality. So the biggest gap and the biggest shortfall that happens is when you have perhaps high tolerance but low capacity, or vice versa. The numbers don't work. And it's either you're exposed to too much risk or you're leaving money on the table. And that's the reality. So again, ask yourself some of those questions. What's your risk tolerance as far as how do you feel about market drops? What happens if the market goes down? Are you staying the course or in the capacity? How many years until you retire? What are your monthly income needs? How much do you really need in retirement, and what drives your portfolio? Okay. Now, let's talk about our favorite subject, taxes, right? And I see some smiles. So I know it's not the most fascinating topic to talk about, but we need to talk about it because it is important for us to understand how to plan ahead. And so you have to ask yourself, how is my money being taxed? Is it taxed now? Is it taxed later? Or is taxed never? And so if you have some of these boxes and you're checking off, okay, I have some accounts on the tax now, and I have some examples of the accounts at the bottom. So some checking account, a savings account. Maybe you're thinking, well, I already have a 401k or a 403b or a traditional IRA. Okay, you got that checked off too. But if you don't take advantage of tax never strategies like Roth accounts or insurance type of strategies, well, you're not necessarily diversifying your taxes and when your money is going to be taxed. So that's what we got to be considering. Let's talk about also what are the options for our money. And again, I did the same. I put some examples of the accounts that are going to fall under these categories because obviously we want to give you high level and an understanding. So, and it's just very simple. A lot of times, and especially as women, we tend to kind of shy away from the numbers. Maybe some of you are a little bit more technical and you're like, absolutely not. Numbers are my thing and I love them. And you embrace that. And that's awesome. But I know based on statistics and based on conversations that I have, not every woman is going to be understanding the numbers and the allocations and where it's invested and all of that. However, it's very simple, and it's understanding which boxes do you have. The boxes that I just gave you on taxes and the boxes where you have your money invested. So the best way to go about that diversification is checking out all the boxes. Fixed accounts, again, accounts that are not going to have too much upside potential, but we need them for our day-to-day emergency funds. Liquidity, so accessibility to our money. Variable accounts are going to give us that upside potential, and especially if we have long-term time horizon to invest our money. So it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster and it's going to go up and down. However, it's going to give us the most upside. Now, if we have these two accounts and you're also looking at the bottom, you're like, yes, I have qualified accounts. So I have variable accounts. I have checking account and savings and CDs, but I don't have anything in the index. In the index category, well, that's a hole in a lot of people's portfolio just simply because they haven't sat down with a financial professional. And I see that a lot. So it's not about erasing everything that you're doing, but it's about enhancing, complementing, and adding to your portfolio over time. So index strategies are going to be those strategies that are going to combine the best of both worlds, the safety with the upside potential, where we could grow our money without any losses. And I know, just like Monique mentioned, because we're better investors, we like security. That's a strategy that is very popular amongst women as well. So manage your risk. And again, stay until the end. I'm going to be sharing a special free gift in regards to risk. So you'll understand your own retirement risk tolerance or your score, essentially, so that you know how to go about your own portfolio, because it comes down to protection stacking. And what does that mean? What is that concept about? Well, there's 3 layers that every retirement plan needs. Again, whether you have 20 years to retire, whether you were closer to retirement, there's still got to be some layers that you have to have in place. Layer number 1, diversification. I just talked to you about that, and that's going to reduce market risk. So if the market is down today, I don't have to worry about it, even if my accounts are on red, because I have other accounts that are safe and protected. So I'm not feeling like a downturn in the stock market. I'm going to lose everything. So that having those multiple accounts are going to work to absorb that market volatility. Now, layer number 2, That's going to be Roth accounts or accounts that are going to hedge against taxes. Roth accounts are the most popular, but tax-free accounts, and there's other solutions, but tax-free accounts should be in your portfolio. If you're not taking advantage of accounts that could eliminate some tax risk, then you're missing the opportunity here. And last but not least, life insurance protects legacy. Making sure that not only we're using this type of plans to protect our families, but life insurance has evolved so much in the last years that you don't only use it if you pass away, you can use it while you're alive. Living benefits, access to cash value, also cash value that is tax-free and risk-free as well. So there's so many different features. However, again, it's not one or the other, or one is the best versus the other. Everyone's situation is going to be different. Your situation, we might be the same age, we might be have some similar budgets on a monthly basis, but our goals are different, and that's just going to determine what our plan is going to look like. So every plan is tailored for each individual. So I'm just giving you high level, I'm giving you some ideas so that you could go based on that, but always talk to a financial professional. Have a financial professional that is going to be in your corner, is going to be able to actually give you some perspective about what you got going on and what you don't have going on. And so as we're finishing up here, I want to talk about this in particular because I wanted to bring up, all this financial concepts and all this information maybe might not even fix the problem overall. The problem might just be that we need to make more money. And that's not necessarily failing, but that's just the truth. And I know that that was my truth years ago when I got started. I didn't only get started because I wanted to help and I wanted to make an impact, but also I saw that I needed to make more money in order for me to reach my goals and my dreams. But everything that changed for me changed because of an environment that you surround yourself with the right people, the right leadership, the right environment to thrive and to succeed and to be able to grow your career, your personal development that happens in the process. And so that's exactly what happened for me. Everything shifted. And that's what we built here at the broker group. And, I'm so excited for the future because this is where hardworking women not just survive, but they thrive and they build a life by design. And I tell you this because I've done it myself over the years. I can't stress enough the flexibility, the freedom. I love to see the women in our team that have more time with their kids. They have their trips that they want to have, the dinners with their parents without being rushed, unlimited upside and income, real growth, and that career that grows with us. So it's not about hustling for somebody else, but it's about doing life on your own terms. And if anything that I mentioned, that maybe gives you that sense of, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I want and that's what I'm looking for, well, trust that. And definitely let's have a conversation. Talk to the person that invited you, because maybe this is an opportunity not only as a referral partner, maybe a twin career, a side business, or an opportunity that could really change your life. So as I promised, I will be sharing. And by the way, all of these pictures is really the life by design that we're talking about, right? And that's why I kind of put this. And I love this quote too: the world is a book and those who do not travel read only one page, because I love traveling. It's part of the incentives in the company. And I've gotten to travel with the company and because of the work that we've been able to do. So how awesome that it's a win-win situation when you're making an impact and also getting some incentives. So as promised, again, here is our gift to you. We want to make sure that you see your retirement risk score. So scan this QR. This is how we could help you. Scan this QR, no commitments, nothing to do with us, everything to do with you. Get your free report and assess where you are. That's it. It's that simple. That will give you a better understanding where you are and what are some of the changes that you need to make in order for you to actually get to that financial freedom, that financial future that you want for yourself. Maybe reach out to the person who invited you. Say, hey, I love what they said about XYZ. Maybe I need to do my assessment. Can you help me out with it? Or you already did it and you say, hey, I realize that I need some work to do. Help me out. We have complimentary financial review, so you don't have to worry about a fee or anything like that. And maybe, again, explore your career options. I know that it was life-changing for me. It was the best decision that I took years ago. And I know for a lot of women in our organization, that's the same feeling that they have. And so I appreciate you tonight. Thank you for being until the end with us. Thank you for, again, taking the steps to learn, to be more empowered, to be more in control of your future and your finances. And looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the future. Have a good night.